I'm making an Italian meatloaf today that's filled with wonderful and flavorful ingredients. I'm using Wagu ground beef for the very first time, along with some wonderful Italian sweet sausage meat. This is all going to bring your meatloaf up to a different level, and I think you're going to really love it. I'm finely mincing a half of a medium onion. Add that to a bowl. And now I have 2 garlic cloves that I'll finely mince and also add that to the onion. You'll need about a half a cup of an Italian breadcrumb. I have sun-dried tomatoes that are julienned and they're packed in oil, and that's just fine. So measure out about a half a cup of those. Place them on your work board, and now you're going to mince them really fine. And you can keep the oil in them, so don't worry about that. Add them to the ingredients in the bowl. And now I'm going to grate some mozzarella. Now this is standard mozzarella, it's not the buffalo kind, and I'm using a half a pound of this. This is the type that you usually use to make lasagna. So grate it on that large hole on your box grater. And you'll see it's all shredded, and then we're going to add it to our ingredients. I have about 1 cup of packed basil leaves. The fresh basil leaves are what you want to use, and you're going to mince them down really fine and add them to your mixture. This is going to make your meatloaf taste so great. Measure out 3/4 of a teaspoon of dry oregano, and then you're going to want about 1 teaspoon of either a kosher or a sea salt, and add some black pepper, maybe around 8 or 9 good grinds. Now I have some Italian sweet sausage here. You're going to remove the casings and just put the Italian sausage meat in with the rest of your ingredients. This takes a little bit of time, but it's definitely worth it. Now I have the Wagu beef, and I've got 1 pound. So I've added that, and now I'm going to mix everything up really well. Make sure you get it all before we add our sauce. And here's some nice marinara type sauce or crushed tomatoes, and I'm adding a half a cup of that to the mixture, and also 2 large eggs. You want to add 1/4 cup of dry red wine, and if you don't use wine at all, you can avoid that and just not put that in. Now I'm just going to mush it all up and make sure everything is really well blended. So I'm lining a cookie sheet with some good parchment paper. Section off your meatloaf mixture into 4 portions. You're going to make some mini meatloaves here. It's a lot of fun doing that. They taste better, and you can give people an individual meatloaf if you want. So just form them into ovals and space them apart just a little bit so that they can cook evenly. I want them about 2 inches high and a little bit in an oval shape. So now it's time to put some tomato sauce on top. So I just have a good canned tomato sauce and just paint it all over each meatloaf. And that's going to keep it really juicy and moist and also give it some beautiful flavor. I've preheated an oven to 375 degrees, and I timed it for about 50 minutes. They're fully cooked when they're about 160 to 170 degrees. These smell so incredible, and you can see that mozzarella kind of oozing through. So now you can serve it. It's kind of a large serving, so you could even share this with someone, and you can see those sun-dried tomatoes in there. This meatloaf is so full of flavor, and that hint of mozzarella. It's so juicy and tender. I think you'll really love this. You could serve this with some of your own marinara sauce for dipping. Anyway, I hope you get to make this really soon. It's a real winner. You can't go wrong with this. I think kids and adults will really love this dish. Thanks so much for watching, and hope to see you again in the next video. You'll find the recipe for this video on Facebook at Diane's World Cooking. You're going to find me on Instagram, and I would love it if you would support my channel at ko-fi.com and buy me a coffee. It would really help. I'll leave the link in the description box below. And don't forget to subscribe.